everybody. John here. We are in South Carolina to spend 4 days on the Foothills Trail. Now, we're not on the Foothills Trail just yet. This is a blue blazed spur trail from the Bad Creek access parking lot to the Foothills Trail, which is white blazes. Now, the Foothills Trail is 76 miles long in South Carolina, and portions are in North Carolina. Actually, we're going to hike, be hiking into North Carolina today and then back into South Carolina. But we're not here for a through hike of the trail, which is not possible right now because of those 76 miles. About 42 are still closed due to damage from Hurricane Helene a few months ago. But the westernmost 32 miles of trail are open and cleared. Many thanks to all the volunteers who made that possible. So it's the end of December. It's the end of 2024. The end of days, if you will, and an annual event that has taken place down here in the Carolinas. And I say down here because, of course, I'm from Pennsylvania, is the End of Days hike, loosely organized by Ramdino, but it's not a group hike in the sense of everybody coordinates and starts together and, do the hike together. It's more of these are the days we'll be doing it, and so you do it your way, however you want to, with whatever timetable you want, and hopefully we'll see you out there. So some of the people coming this year for that are planning to do, normally, we'd do a through hike of the trail, but what a lot of people are planning to do is a yo-yo from the western terminus of the trail at Oconee State Park to the Bad Creek access that I just started at, and then back. But I'm just doing half of that. I guess you'd say I'm doing a one-way flip-flop, starting at Bad Creek and going west. And today we'll hike to Sloan Bridge and then flip to Oconee and hike the other way. And then we're going to be flipping again. So I don't want to bore you with all the details, but basically we're covering about 33 miles. I've chosen this sort of weird plan because my cousin Half Mile is here in the area, and she dropped me off just a bit ago, and we'll be seeing her about halfway through our hike today up at the Upper Whitewater Falls parking lot. And, we'll take a break there, hang out with her a bit, and then hike on to Sloan Bridge, where we will meet her again and spend the night there tonight, which is also where we spent the night last night. That is Upper Whitewater Falls, and Half Mile is waiting for us up there at the top. We're going to climb up to there. When I was here about 1.5 years ago, this little section of bridge was not here. These were here, these cables, but basically you had to step down onto this rock and then jump up onto that one. Or coming the other way, you had to jump off of this rock down to here. Not something old dude was prepared to do. So I didn't. Instead, I scrambled down there and came up this big rock right here and then climbed onto the bridge. I know by this time last year they had built this extra wooden section because I saw it on other people's videos. Okay, continuing that way, we go to Sloan Bridge, which is where we will end up tonight. But we want to take the Whitewater Falls Overlook Trail and go up this way. That will also take us up to the parking lot where Half Mile is waiting. And in fact, I can see a platform up there and several people up there. It looks like 3 or 4 people up there. So that is where we're headed. Okay, see what kind of a view we get up here. Now at the top of these stairs is the parking lot where we will take a break with Half Mile. On this paved path just off of the parking lot, you get a nice view of Lake Jocassee. All right, we're back to the Whitewater parking lot. Let's see if Half Mile is up here napping. Hopefully, we can get a little coffee break, maybe some lunch. All right, so I had a little coffee break here and left an extra jacket with Half Mile and a couple other items that I don't need for the rest of the day. So I'm going to continue on from here. I got about 4.8 miles to go. And from the upper Whitewater parking lot, there's a building over there with restrooms in it, and that's a heated building. You can see there are quite a few cars. There are people here for the day just to go out that paved path that goes about a half mile out to the falls overlook. It's helpful to have the Foothills Trail guidebook, which is what this is, and it's got these mini maps, like for instance the upper Whitewater Falls trail access where we are now. So we came along the trail like this, and then we took the spur trail up to the overlooks to the falls, and then here's the paved trail that comes to the parking lot. So we're here now. So we've hit that restroom already. Definitely taken advantage of the fact that there are real toilets in there, you know, flush toilets and running water and, you know, soap and all that. So then there's a little path that goes down this way to reconnect us to the trail, and then we'll head west to Sloan Bridge. You can see we're very close to the state line here. We're in North Carolina, but those hills over there are in South Carolina. So off we go. You can see there's also trash collection point. So if I were through hiking the Foothills Trail, Webo westbound, I would probably skip the view of the falls down there. unless I came up off the trail from the little path that we're going to take, because I'm not sure that the climb is really worth it. At least that overlook deck, that was an okay view, but up here at the very top is just as good a view, I think. So I'm not sure it's really worth the climb if you're going that way. But if you're going eastbound, then I would definitely come up here and go out there to the end to see the falls, and then take the spur trail that goes back down to the Foothills Trail. But coming up, you have a lot of steps, and I found that to be actually the most grueling part of the hike today. So around the other side of this building, we'll find a path that goes down the hill and reconnects to the Foothills Trail. So it's this path right here, and there's even a little post here that tells you. So off we go. And we will be in North Carolina most of the time today. And then near the end, we'll cross back into South Carolina to the Sloan Bridge parking lot. That's where Half Mile will be waiting. And we will spend the night with her there tonight. So you didn't see her on this last break, because when I got to the parking lot, I found that she was napping in her van and didn't seem ready to to end her nap. So we said, okay, fine. I'll just have some coffee and then I'll head on. With carrots, onions, and red chili peppers in sunflower oil. I hear something from that direction which sounds a little bit like a plane, but I think it's actually a speedboat on Lake Jocassee. There's a couple of benches where you can sit and enjoy this view. Looks better in person than on camera. And I'm guessing that this is one of the trees that came down due to Hurricane Helene, as well as the rest of these that are lying here. So many thanks to the trail maintainers who managed to get these westernmost 32 miles of the trail open and clear. Ah, I see a tree right up here with red paint on it, and there's another one over there. That tells me that we're close to finishing for the day. We're close to half mile, and we should be crossing the state line, because usually the red marking is a national forest boundary. So I believe we've been in the Nantahala National Forest, and we're crossing into the Sumter National Forest. So it's still national forest, but it's different ones. And indeed, look here, we are crossing back into South Carolina. So we don't have that much farther to go. It might only be about a half mile to half mile at the Sloan Bridge parking lot. Okay, the road right ahead of us is South Carolina State Road 107. And as soon as we cross it, we are at our destination, which is right there. You can see the silver streak and Half Mile's van. Okay, end of day one. Let's walk fast here because I see somebody coming on our left. Foothills Trail, Sloan Bridge, access. Oh, there you are. Cool.
I'm sitting in the chair.
Oh, nice.
Did you hear me say woohoo?
I did.
So, hot coffee, homemade chili. Look at that.
Whew. All
Yep.
right. Better than I deserve. Well, let's get comfy. All right. Let's grub down. Oyster crackers even. Let's put some
Love
of those
those.
in there. Oh, yeah. Okay, we had our chili supper, and it's gotten dark. I don't know how well you can see us here in Half Mile's van, but it's a pretty sweet setup, and she's got the lights hung up here, and then there's her bed right behind her. If she just lays down, she's there. So
The chair when it's cleaned off, and I use the cooler as an ottoman.
Very nice.
Very comfy.
Yeah. Now me, I'll be sleeping in my car tonight. We both slept in this car last night, and it got down to about 33. Tonight it's supposed, well, the forecast said only getting down to 49, but I see it's already 43. But still, it won't be as cold as last night, and so I'm sleeping in my car mainly just to, if I think of things, I can get up and do something, you know, if I need to move something or repack something for tomorrow or whatever. And I want to charge up the camera, so I got my charger there handy beside my seat and all that. So yeah, we're retiring to our separate bedrooms tonight, and then tomorrow
Well, you didn't have a bedroom, you had a seat.
Yeah, right here. This is my bed. Yeah, so tomorrow I flip over to Oconee and then go eastbound to just as far as Chattooga Road, and then the day after that we'll flip back here, and I'll start here at Sloan Bridge and go westbound to probably to Burles Ford or someplace, then finish up the day after that. After Half Mile will be gone. So yeah, all right, well, when you see that it's first light, if I haven't awakened you yet,
Okay. I can't see out because I have my windows blacked out.
Yeah, which is cool.
Yeah. So it has Reflectix on one side,
Mm-hmm.
and then the other side is black, same material but black.
Yeah.
So it's great.
Awesome. Okay, we'll see you tomorrow. Day 2 on our way to Oconee State Park for the next leg of the hike, which is in the other direction from the western terminus of the Foothills Trail to Chattooga Road today. That's only about 6 miles, 6.1 or something like that.
I'm glad you're recording this. We'll need it for the insurance claim. I can't see a thing.
You're fine. Half Mile is driving us at a safe speed to where she'll drop me off, and then she's going to head over to mile 4.9 where the trail bumps up against the road, and then I think it's 1.4. Yeah, I think it's mile 6.3 is where we stopped today, and that's where Fresh Ground will be set up. So he'll probably be doing grilled cheese sandwiches, and of course he's got the Fresh Ground coffee. Then tomorrow I'm gonna go back to Sloan Bridge where I left off yesterday and go westbound again. And we're off. It's a little bit sprinkly and misty and drippy. At the parking lot we met 5 or 6 people, a couple of familiar faces and some new people out here. Got a group of 3 up ahead of me. I see a bright green pack cover. If I had any sense, I would have my pack covered, but it should be all right because this is a short day. I decided to just do the puffy jacket for the time being, and then if it starts raining steadily, then I have my rain jacket. And if I really need to, I've got a emergency poncho that will cover my pack as well as me. So, should be okay. Left the umbrella in Half Mile's car, and when we meet her later, I can grab it if I feel like I need it. White blaze on this tree, which is now horizontal. A casualty of Hurricane Helene, I imagine, along with all of these. Beautiful misty morning. As long as we're only dealing with mist, I don't mind at all. But hopefully you can spare me the downpours until tomorrow when I'm more ready for it, I hope.
Okay. Could you go in there and put the attendance back together? Okay.
Well, we're done hiking for the day. We're back to the Silver Streak, and there's definitely some gear explosion going on here. So yeah, and then there's Half Mile's van right there. But got my socks, yesterday's socks and shirt up here on the dash. The book I'm reading. Here's a sandwich that Half Mile made, and I'm gonna eat shortly. There's my food bag, my day pack, puffy jacket, you know. Got food in these containers here. Got my pillows. There's my hiking boots, my walking stick. You know, this and that, right? There's the jeans I was wearing yesterday, puffy blankets. Got food canister right there. You can maybe spot my tent there. So the plan tomorrow is to start here at Sloan Bridge, and go westbound as far as Burles Ford Road, where I will meet Half Mile, and then she will be leaving the area after that. So basically we switch to my big pack, which involves reorganizing everything probably. And then we will get my car over to the Chioi Road crossing. And then the day after tomorrow, I'll do Burles Ford to Chioi Road, and then I'll be done. So as for tonight, well, we're just hanging out in our cars and then visiting each other now and then. Should be a rainy night here at Sloan Bridge. I expect there'll be more rain. There's supposed to be a thunderstorm overnight. And then we'll see what tomorrow's hiking looks like. But we will get to see fresh ground again, because he's going to be set up in the morning at Fish Hatchery Road, which is 3.3 miles south of here. So we should see him when I pass through there. And also a lot of the end of days hikers will be coming the other way, so we should see quite a few of them tomorrow as well. But if I don't talk to you again, good night. All right, Half Mile, we will see you in a couple of hours. It's a little after 7:30,
Okay.
and we're taking off from Sloan Bridge on our way down to Fish Hatchery, which is 3.3 miles. On day 3, we got a little bit of a break in the very heavy rain, which lasted all night in periods of varying intensity, sometimes downright torrential. But the streams will be flowing today, no doubt about that. The temperature stayed right around 46 degrees all night long, and it's about that now. And the high is supposed to be 55 today, I think. I'll believe that when I feel it. I haven't eaten anything yet. I have food with me, of course, but I'll just see how I do. I may be fine until I get to Fish Hatchery, where fresh ground is set up this morning. So he will certainly have some kind of yummy breakfast and that fresh ground coffee. All right, except for periods of sprinkling, it hasn't been too bad as far as the rain goes. Still a little misty and drippy. And we are coming now to Fish Hatchery Road. And look, voices, people, vehicles. Got the fire there. And we got Ramdino and fresh ground. Hey! Good morning. Okay, this is Ramdino. He's sort of the social hub for the 4th annual End of Days hike.
Awesome,
And,
yep.
Also has a channel, Ramdino Hiking the Trails.
Yep.
Where the main focus, I guess, what you're most famous for is your weekly AT updates.
That's right. Weekly updates of where all the thru hikers are, and then whatever going on with the trail information, the trail news, and stuff like that. So always something going on with the Appalachian Trail, and that's where mainly my focus is. But there's but my focus is also toward building the hiker community and supporting the thru hikers each year. So right now we're kind of in between thru hikers. we don't have really any sobos right now, and nobos are getting ready to start in a couple weeks now. So getting excited about that.
Yeah. Now, Sobos probably have an easier time of it right now because of trail closures that are mostly in the southern half of the trail, right?
Yeah, but we really don't have any that's not passable other than about 4.5 miles at Iron Mountain Gap.
Okay.
So really, that's about the only section that's not passable. Pisgah National Forest is still technically closed, but there's no policing it or anything like that. So, but right now, we really don't have any sobos out there because a lot of the sobos, when the hurricane first hit, they got off trail just because everything was not passable coming through there, and then they never came back. And then we have had some sobos that have went through, but most of those have already gone through. I've got one sobo right now who is going through the worst of it, and that's the only one. That's Toppy, and Toppy's the last one that I'm tracking. So I don't know of any other sobos. I think we've kind of run the course of sobos now.
Okay. But for aspiring 2025 thru hikers, you say
go for it.
Yeah,
Don't change your
right?
plans. Should be fine. Come on. And even at the one place that's the 4.5 miles that's bombed out and you can't hike now, it's either going to be ready or we've already scouted out a walk around for it where you stay on Forest Service roads. So there's not going to be a road walk. You don't need to take a shuttle. None of that. So come on.
Okay.
It's going to be ready for you.
All right.
And the communities will be ready for you too. All the shuttles and the hostels and everybody up there, everybody's ready for you to come on.
Okay, good. Well, appreciate everything you do to keep up the good work, buddy.
Yep. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thanks, old dude.
Fresh Ground. Thanks very much, bud. Appreciate all you do. Keep up the good work. I'll see you next year.
Okay.
I'm heading Weibo. So.
See you, buddy.
Yep.
Thanks.
All right. See y'all. All right, Burles Ford Road, 3.9 miles. That's the next stop. So, Fresh Ground fed us cheesy eggs, blueberry pancakes with maple syrup available, and deep fried bacon. Oh my God. And there was Fresh Ground coffee, of course, because he did the AT some years ago and got the trail name Fresh Ground because he insisted on he had coffee beans and he would grind them in the morning for his coffee. So I just passed 4 EBOs, eastbounders, who are about to arrive there at Fresh Ground Station and get their lunch. He just stopped serving breakfast a few minutes ago, so I got there in time for that, which I'm glad, but I'm sure lunch would have been fabulous too. But likely no more trail magic the rest of the day and tomorrow. But we should pass quite a few EBOs along this stretch here. Let's get the obligatory shot of Whiteside Mountain. But will we actually get a view today? Or is it too foggy? It's a little foggy, but still a nice view, if you ask me. All right, well, as you know, I'm going Weibo now to Chioi Road, and I'm passing lots of people coming the other way, including Uncle Bill and April. How are y'all doing?
Good.
And you're from Florida, right?
We live on a sailboat, so our legal address is Florida, but you never know where the boat's going to be.
Okay, and you're doing the AT in 2025. Tell us your start date.
February 14th.
February 14th? Well, that's cryptic.
April said she wanted to start cold, and February was the month, and I said, well, why don't we do it on Valentine's Day? So that's
very
the
nice.
plan.
Yeah, okay. And April, you said you're new to hiking, and
Yes,
there's not a lot of hills in Florida.
No.
Like there's not the kind of ups and downs like we have in Pennsylvania. Okay, so
How do I keep my heart rate down on
well,
the ups?
here's something. I'll pass this along to you. I learned this from a AT alum who was called, I thought he was called Grip, but somebody told me it was Griff. But anyway, he said, pick some number, and as you're walking along, count up to that number. And then when you get there, if you want to stop for as long as you want to, catch your breath, take as much time as you need, collect yourself. And then when you feel like you can move forward again, start and count to that number again.
Okay.
And then stop. And so I do 24. So I call it doing my 24s.
Oh, I
And,
love it. Thank
yeah.
you. That's great advice.
So I do that regularly, and yeah, it works for me. So
That's awesome.
Awesome. I appreciate you. So nice to meet you, old dude.
yep. And Uncle Bill has a channel, a YouTube channel, and it's called
Sailing Avamar, Avemar, and that was the name. That is the name of our boat, and that we were doing sailing videos, and now we're doing hiking videos too. So.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Well, you all have about 35, 40 minutes until you get to fresh ground.
Yeah.
Oh, so exciting.
Food.
Okay. Have a good one.
Yep. Thank you very
Bye.
much.
I believe we're just about to the end of this stretch. I think I see the Burles Ford parking lot up there. Yeah, here we go. This is Burles Ford Road. So this will be the end of the slack packing portion. From here, we need to move my car, switch to my big pack, and then half mile will be on her way west to Illinois. So the trail continues that way. Parking lot is over here. All right, we're back at the Silver Streak. I made it to the Burles Ford parking lot where I'm at half mile. She gave me a lift. There she is over there. And now she's gonna follow me over to Gioia Road where I'm gonna leave my car, and then she'll take me back to Burles Ford to drop me off with my big pack on. So here we go. Okay, now for the next phase. So left the Silver Streak right back there. Got my big pack now, which you can see right there. Half mile's got a sandwich for me and some, there's a few cheddar and sour cream chips left, so I'll scarf that and then pretty soon be dropped off at Burles Ford and we part ways.
Love you. Be careful.
Off duty.
Have fun.
Yep. Alrighty. We go entirely on foot from here. So, Burles Ford Campground is right down here, and it's kind of early, but I'm thinking that I might stay there tonight. One advantage is there's a latrine, and there won't be another one for the rest of the time. I think I may get a tarp shelter going, and then my tent under it. There's a nice spot over there with a, oh, is there actually, there's a bear box there. Okay, that's nice. Picnic table. Oh, I guess there's bear boxes at several of these. Oh, that's nice. Okay, that's for trash collection. Right now we have 0 trash, so that's not really an issue. Do we like this spot? Number 5. We have to think about how we're gonna rig up our tarp shelter. Could we use that lantern post in some way. Set our tent somewhere here. I don't know. We got to think about water runoff. If it rains hard tonight, what kind of drainage we'd be looking at. So we'll have to think about this. Once again, bungee cords for the win. So we got one here, secured at the other corner the same way. This corner tied to a tree. That corner bungeed to a rock. And then just a good sized stick here so that we have drainage. Put my tent on top of that and probably have it facing that way. It'll be a nice little cozy spot tonight. Here's the Chattooga River. On the other side, that's Georgia. This looks like a lovely spot for a coffee break. So I might just grab my chair and my coffee fixins and bring it on over. Let's check out the view of the river from over there. All right, tent is set up. Now the tarp is not covering the foot end of the tent, but you know, it's something. So we have quite a lot of rigging going on here. There's the tarp itself. There's my usual, you know, to pull these out and secure it to the same stake as the bottom corner. I use the stick trick. I do that on all four. And that way I never have to take out this post, and it just, it'll stand up. And then the front part, so the fifth stake, I could put into the ground over there, but I found it simpler just to wrap it around that post there, and then I have a stick in there to secure it. So the one thing I have to be careful about here is bumping my head on the picnic table if I am moving around here in the wrong way. But otherwise, tent is ready to go. Got dry clothes down there, and then, you know, my pillow and all my stuff there. I got camp shoes if I want. So we're all set. Right now, I want to take the chair and coffee fixins down here, and we'll sit by the river and have a cup of joe. Oh, that's good. Well, guess what? It did start raining while I was down there having my coffee. In fact, I haven't finished it. I still have some here. And at first it was drizzling, so that I thought, I think I have time. I'll stay put for the moment. Well, then it started to come down a little harder, and I said, oops, I gotta get out of here. Look how swift that current is. Holy moly. And look, the beachy part of the trail that goes out. So this isn't part of the Foothills Trail. This is just the trail that goes through the campground. But look how the beachy part is kind of washed out. So we will step up here on the bank. Uh-oh. Are we gonna have a problem right up here? Man, it sounds like we're beside the ocean, doesn't it? So you end of days hikers who came through here eastbound, either yesterday or the day before, you didn't get to see this. Wouldn't be surprised to see someone going by on a kayak. This would be a great day to shoot this river. Well, folks, we've got ourselves a bit of a pickle. So the trail comes down from there, very close to the river here. And over here, you can see that the beach is washed out. So the trail goes along here, right along there, and then up like that. So we have to get on the other side of this. And how are we going to do that? So when you come to something like this, it's tempting to allow a sense of despair to wash over you. So I say, don't let that happen. Keep your head and consider all your options. Anything you can think of. So One option is to try to bushwhack along the bank here and get around this, but that's very steep. That would be very difficult with my pack and take a long time. One of my thoughts was, is this going to stop me? Am I going to be able to get through it all, or am I going to have to double back? And if I turn back, then what am I going to do? Where am I going to go? Who am I going to call, etc.? So I've been thinking about those things, but also been thinking about options for getting through here. Now we could just heel and toe it and be very careful and just maybe roll up the pants, but keep the boots and socks on and just, you know, just get wet and cold. I do have dry socks that I can put on later on, so we can go a little farther, and then, you know, the boots will still be wet, but at least I'll have a dry pair of socks I can replace my wet ones with. So that's an option. Another option is to dig out the camp shoes and get into them otherwise barefoot and hang my shoes and socks. But if I do that, that's gonna probably be super cold. I'm worried about losing my footing with the camp shoes on, and afterward putting the socks back on my wet feet. I mean, I don't know. I don't like that option as much. So I haven't 100% decided, but in the meantime, let's have something to eat so that we have the strength for this. And also, I'm gonna mix up a little chocolate caramel element. That hits the spot. All right, it's go time. What I decided is I'm just gonna go ahead and wade through there with I'm leaving my boots and socks on. I'm gonna get plenty wet, but like I say, I do have dry socks that I can put on later if need be. I do not have my waist belt or my chest strap fastened, okay? And that's, you know, I don't know that that's a necessary measure to unfasten those, because we're not going to be fighting current here, right? We don't actually have to cross the river, which would be impossible. But since I'm recording, I'll just mention that if you come to a tricky stream or river crossing and you think there's any chance at all that you might fall in, then before you start, you should at least undo your waist belt and maybe your chest strap as well, because if you fall into the water, you want to be able to wriggle out of your backpack immediately and worry about getting your body to safety first. Forget about your pack. So I've done that, even though it isn't really necessary here, because even if I did fall in, I'm not going to be fighting current. I'd love to set up the camera over there so you could see me doing this, but then I'd have to do this twice, and I'm not doing that. Okay, at this point we can actually get over here, and if I can duck underneath these branches, then maybe I don't really have to go into the water much. We have the clearance we need. This will be the worst part. Here come the waves. Woo, that's refreshing on the feet. All right, we made it. Now, in thinking through what to do there, one thought I had was, what if I trudge through there and continue down the trail, and there's another spot like that that's even worse, and I have to turn around anyway? But since I've done this trail before, I had to ask, would there be spots like that? I don't think so. I do remember passing very close to the river, and I remember at least one spot where there were some rocks that extended out almost to the middle of the river, and you could walk out on them, sit out on them, and so forth. That may be the spot back there. But today, those rocks are completely submerged. Can't even see them. Alright, so the cold shock of that water is already worn off, and I mean, a little sogginess in the shoes, but otherwise, we're okay. Ooh, wait a minute. Oh boy. Oh, that's not good. Just what I was afraid of. A spot that is even worse. We're gonna have to go back through that again. So be it. What else can you do? Okay, now the shoes and socks are doubly wet. Oh well, fortunately it's not that cold. The heat I generate while hiking will more than make up for the cold right now. We're gonna have to go back to Burles Ford. We'll just get ourselves back there, and then I guess we'll go through the campground and up the campground road to the parking lot. I think that'll give us our best chance of running into somebody whose car might be at the parking lot, and then maybe we can get somebody to give us a ride. All right, we're back at Burles Ford. Let's see what kind of luck we have. We haven't seen another living soul so far today. Hopefully that'll change. So the trail veers to the right here and bypasses the campground. But this trail goes into the campground and through it, and then reconnects with the Foothills Trail on the other side. Then there's also the campground road that you can take to get up to the parking lot, which is what we're gonna do. So let's see if we see anybody, and if anybody can help us. Because we have no phone service. If we had any phone service, I guess I would get on the phone and call a shuttle driver. But since that's not an option, we'll just have to get up to the parking lot and then see what we see. Okay, we're back. Now there is a vehicle here, but there may not be a person here yet. So let's see what happens. Woo! Well, we made it back to the Silver Streak, thanks to the kindness of a young fellow it was a J name, Jason or Jackson or something. He happened to pull into the parking lot there, and I flagged him down. And it was just me, without my pack or anything, just a guy in a raincoat, flagging him down because it was starting to rain, and I had my pack stashed underneath there's a privy there at the parking lot, and it has like the entrance area is covered. So in the little vestibule of the privy, I had my pack and my stuff there. So I came out, and here's just a guy waving, and I told him the situation and asked if he might be able to give me a ride, and so was able to throw my pack in his trunk, and he brought me over here. And so many thanks to Jason or Jackson or somebody, local guy. Appreciate it. So we're back, and I guess that's the end of this backpacking adventure. It's about 2 in the afternoon, so I think I'm actually okay to drive for a little while, even in my soggy socks and everything. So I might get a little piece of road behind me, and then whatever. I mean, I can change clothes whenever. I'm gonna want to take a shower someplace, like at a truck stop, but I think it's at least 2 hours of driving before I get to any truck stops to get out of the mountains here. At any rate, we're safe and dry now, and back at the Silver Streak.